Hello students, this video is for group number 5. This is the most challenging group, so hang in there. Please copy down everything you see in this video. You might need a separate piece of paper. It might not fit on your worksheet. Each problem is going to take quite a bit of space. So when you're asked to factor something by grouping, there's always going to be a polynomial that has 4 pieces. Okay, not 2, not 3, not 5, 4 pieces. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's start off with problem number 3. Let's jump right into this. Notice that you have a polynomial that has 4 pieces. Here is your first piece. The plus signs are separators. Plus and minus signs separate. Here's your second piece, third piece, and fourth piece. Okay, so you have 4 pieces. Almost always, you're just going to split this problem in half. So that is your first step. I went ahead and I put some notes here on the side for us to follow. Please feel free to pause this video so you could write down these notes. So step number 1 is split the problem in half. So I did that. These first 2 pieces are going to be worked out together, and these last 2 pieces are going to be worked out together. Okay, so step number 2, treat each part like a separate problem and factor it by taking out what they have in common. So let me just show you so that you can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So ignore this side. Don't look at the 5x plus 10, okay? Ignore it. The 3x squared plus 6x is what you're going to focus on. Look at these 2 pieces. What do they have in common? What can you take out? Look at the numbers 3 and 6. The greatest common factor is a 3. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down. 3 times 1 is 3. Sorry, this is looking kind of sloppy. And 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm just showing you how each piece has a 3. Okay, I should use a different color here, sorry. Okay, so each piece has a 3. 3 times 1 is 3, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Each piece has x's in common. This piece has 2 x's, so I drew them out. And this piece only had 1 x, so I drew the x there. So I'm going to go ahead and take out what they both have. So they both have a 3. So I'm going to take out a 3. And both pieces also have an x that I could take out. Okay, so I'm going to circle this x. Now you can only take out 1 x. You can't take out 2 because this piece only has an x to give you. It's the most it can give you. So that's the most you can take out of each piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put the x right here. So you're always going to tell me what you took out first. So what do they both have in common that you could take out? Well, both pieces had a 3 and both pieces had an x. So I went ahead and I took out the 3 and the x. Next, you're going to tell me what your leftovers were. So for this, I need to put parentheses, and I need to tell you what my leftovers were. Okay, so my leftovers is pretty much everything that I did not circle above. Okay, that's what I'm going to call my leftovers. All right, so what did I not circle? Sorry, this is taking me so long. Leftovers. Okay, so my leftovers is this 1 that I didn't circle and the x that I didn't circle. So those are my leftovers, 1, x. And I really don't have to put the 1 because it's like an invisible one. I just put it to show you that it's there. Next, don't forget the plus sign that was in the middle, separating my pieces. So I still have to put it. Here's my plus sign. And what was left over on the second piece? What did I not circle? This 2. It's my only leftover. So I'm going to go ahead and put it there. So this is my answer for my first part of the problem. Now I'm on step number 3, and I'm going to do the same exact steps to the other side. So now I'm going to focus my attention on the 5x and the 10. And I'm going to ask myself, what do these two pieces have in common? Well, they both have a 5 inside of them, and I'll show you how. So 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now I drew this x, but notice that they do not have an x in common. This piece doesn't even have an x. So let's see how that's going to play out. Both pieces have a 5, so I'm going to circle that 5, and I'm going to take that 5 out. Okay, so here's the 5. This is what I took out. Okay, now my leftovers is everything else that I could not take out. Everything I didn't circle. So here I have 1x. And again, remember that the thing separating my pieces was this plus sign. So I'm going to bring that down, plus. And what was left in my second piece? What are my leftovers? The 2. I took out the 5, and the 2 was left. Okay, now one little detail. You have to put something in front of the 5. You have to either put a plus sign or a minus sign. What kind of a 5 did we take out? Was it a positive 5 or was it a negative 5? Well, it's a positive 5. So I'm just going to put a little plus sign right here, and you'll see why in a little bit. So we are done with step number 3. Now we're going to go to step number 4. Check that your leftovers are identical. If your leftovers are identical, then you know you're on the right track and you're doing a very good job. So let's check this. My leftovers for the first problem was 1x plus 2. My leftovers for my second problem is also 1x plus 2. This should always happen to you when you're doing your problems on this worksheet. That tells you that you're on track and you're doing a good job. If these pieces are different, then you have to go back and find your mistake. All right, step number 5. Take out the identical pieces and regroup your leftovers. So now you're going to think of it like you're taking out the 1x plus 2. You're going to take out the 1x plus 2. Why? Because both pieces have a 1x plus 2. So I'm going to write 1x plus 2. Oops, that x looks terrible. But that's what I'm going to take out, the 1x plus 2. And if I take out the 1x plus 2, imagine I took it out and it's gone. What are your leftovers if you take out the 1x plus 2? You have the 3x in the first piece and the plus 5 in the second piece. So you're going to regroup those and you're going to put them together. 3x and then the plus 5. 3x plus 5. And this is your final answer. Okay, you can always check your answer by multiplying it back together. We're not going to do that because that takes a while. You'll practice that in a different group. But if you were to multiply these pieces back together again, you would end up with this top answer. All right, I think we are running out of time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. There's going to be a second video for one more problem that we do together. So please watch that next video because this is a fairly difficult group. And so I want to make sure I do at least 2 problems with you. Thank you.